So let's spend some time on the Cincinnati Reds. Yesterday, FT Senior Insider and the Athletics' Ken Rosenthal put out the report about the possibility of a trade between the Royals and the Reds that would involve Brady Singer on the Kansas City side and Jonathan India on the Cincinnati side. Now, this was before the news broke that Nick Martinez will accept the qualifying offer at around $21 million. It's a 34-year-old, really good pitcher in the bigs who gets a significant increase on his salary from $14 million this past season. He had opted out. They said, no, you can't opt. Well, you can opt out, but we're going to try to keep you with the qualifying offer. I don't know if the Reds thought he was going to take it or not, but he did. This was from Francis Romero yesterday, and then we've gotten some confirmation from others today. So $21 million. We do have someone who takes it. And he's had a 3.31 ERA since coming back from Japan in 2022. That was a lucrative trip overseas to come back and be a strong pitcher in the bigs, including NL Pitcher of the Month in September. I'm going to say now that the Reds wouldn't do a deal like that necessarily because of where their pitching's at and how much they're spending on it. So this was before that. But Kansas City, I think, is definitely still very interested in Jonathan India, so maybe they can pull something else off. Your thoughts?
I think this is the one guy we thought would accept, and he did. And he makes $21 million. Now, could he have maybe gotten a multi-year deal on the market? Maybe, but he's comfortable in Cincinnati, and plus he gets $21 million. So maybe he doesn't want to go through free agency again, which a lot of guys don't. But, I mean, Nick Martinez back to the Reds makes a lot of sense for both parties. Tito, I'm sure, was in his ear saying, hey, man, you got a chance to be really special for us. We're going to be better. Mm-hmm. And I think this is also a signal that Reds might spend some money this offseason.
I think this trade for India and Singer going over to the Reds and Jonathan India still makes sense. Even with Nick Martinez back in the fold, nobody threw over 150 innings for the Reds this year. Brady Singer, I think he's at 173, something like that. Like, that's huge. They need guys that are not going to kill their bullpen, which they already still need to upgrade their bullpen. So I think the Reds are still. I don't think this precludes. I don't think this definitely pushes the Brady Singer talk off the table. I love that trade for both teams because the Royals get a leadoff guy, which they didn't have, and India is much better in the leadoff spot. So I think it still happens, or I think it should still continue to be discussed. But I think it's great because it gives the Reds versatility. If Rhett Lauder comes into spring training and shows them what he needs to, now they have depth in the minor leagues, or he can step in and Nick Martinez can swing from the rotation to the bullpen.
I just wonder about, I mean, they have a lot of guys, Lodolo, Abbott, right? Nick Martinez, if they bring over Singer. They've got a lot of options at starting pitcher. But who's the one guy that's going to step up and take the next step and be the real true leader of this staff? Because it seems like all these guys get hurt all the time.
Yeah, but now, Hunter Green's hurt, standout season.
But he got hurt. That's what I'm saying.
That's why I love Singer.
But Rhett Lauder was awesome. Rhett Lauder was awesome when he got called up. The question for me is, India was kind of the leader of this team. Who's going to take over his role? Now, I know they have McLean coming back, and everyone's hoping Ellie takes that next step, or whether it's, Encarnacion Strand or whoever it might be. But India's been the guy that's been there, and he's been a leader for him. And I know last year when this all went down, he was talking about being traded. People were already mad about it. I don't know. I mean, I like this trade, but to me, it doesn't do a lot for either team. I mean, the Royals are getting another guy that they kind of have a bunch of those similar guys in Jonathan India, and they're trading away an asset to them, which is a starting pitcher.
But my thing is, India can plug in right away at second base. They played a number of guys at second base. Yeah. I know Massey was the answer over most others. And also, they had, as a team, a brutal on-base percentage. Jonathan India is like a 36% of the time on-base guy-ish. They could not get on base if you look at the lineup, and especially at the top. They want somebody who's going to get on base for Bobby to do damage, and that was a huge hole for them. So I actually think it's more of a fit for the Royals side than it is for the Red side, because here's the problem I have on the Red side. So I was doing some homework and also found a recent quote in the last several days from their president, not Kroll, but Doug Healy is the name, CFO, COO. Said payroll will be at or above 2024. So I'm like, okay, that's good. So you look back, opening day payroll last year for the Reds was about $90 million, third lowest in Major League Baseball. Now, with Nick Martinez accepting that qualifying offer,
he's like already over. He's almost a quarter of it already.
Dude, their current payroll right now is in the 93 range. And we know the Reds. They're not going to suddenly go from 90 to 150. So if they're already at 93, how much more can they go?
Why can't they look at the Royals, though, and say, well, the Royals went and got Waka. The Royals went out and got Lugo. The Royals made some shrewd moves. And look, they got to the playoffs. The Reds last year were supposed to be that team that took the next step, but they didn't get the right guys, right? How much is Candelario making?
3 years, 45-ish.
Okay, so between Martinez and Candelario, there's $36 million. You're already over a third of your way. That's two guys. You got to fill the roster out somehow.
Or you got to get to 150, which is
that's what I'm saying. You got to go out
on your big boy pants.
Get some guys that'll help you take the next step.
Yeah,
and you see it with these young teams. The teams that go from build, and then we're going to take the next jump, whether it was the Astros, whether it was the Cubs, whether whoever it was. Cubs went out and got John Lester, John Lackey, right? They went out and got Jason Hayward. They took him to the next level, right? The Astros went out and traded for Verlander, brought on some payroll, brought in some veteran guys to take them to the next level. The Reds have to do that, and that involves having to up the payroll more than $3 million.
They were hard in on Sonny Gray. They had it. It was between the Reds and the Cardinals, and he ended up accepting to the Cardinals. I think the number was $5 million extra, but I'm not sure if I'm just making that up in my mind. But Sonny went to the Cardinals. He wanted to go back to the Reds. They didn't quite match it. To me, that at least means the Reds were in the $60 to $70 million range. How much is Teo going to get this year? What does Teo do to that lineup? I know we thought this lineup was going to be legit, but if you make a few trades like a Singer to the rotation that gives you consistent innings out of the rotation and not just, the revolving door of Lodolo going down, then Hunter Green missing a start, and then Abbott missing a start, and then, Rhett Lauder's his innings limit, because he's so young, is set to a certain limit. Now you have depth, but you also added to your lineup too. And I get it. India was a leader on that team. Somebody else has to step up.
Yeah, it might be a drop off of the article I read, but they're in the
Hernandez
range.
isn't going to the Reds. I'm sorry.
Teoscar Hernandez is way too expensive for
Not
Cincinnati.
going to the Reds.
I mean, he's going to get $20-something million a year. They're going to suddenly go from the 90s here, already jumping up to the 115, 120 range in one deal. No way are they going to do that. And they still have
going to go
other
$20
things to
million to
handle.
somebody.
No,
They're willing to do it.
They just did.
They were willing to do it last year with Sonny Gray, and they already had a lot of depth in the rotation. This is a need that they have. You don't think Teo's going to get 4 years, $80 million?
I think he's
going to get more than that. And they're not going to go there.
They're not going to win that battle. I mean, if the Red Sox and the Reds are competing, for example, for Teo among the Dodgers as well, the team that's going way down on that list is Cincinnati. They don't play ball like that very often. And I think they anticipated Nick Martinez was going to decline it. I really think that's what they were.
I don't think that anybody thought anybody would really accept one of these, because usually nobody really does. It's very rare that guys accept this. Nick Martinez is like, I like Cincinnati. Family's comfortable here. $21 million. That ain't too bad.
Yeah, he's 34 years old. Here's what probably went through their head as well is you do your homework. These qualifying offers get offered, and then you have time to do your homework. His agency, whoever it is, probably made the phone calls and said, hey, we might be able to pull off a 2 or 3 year deal, but it's going to be at a lower average annual value. And he's like, screw it. I'm going to get 21. I'm going to get it done again this year, and then I'll see if I get myself a multi-year deal next year without draft pick compensation attached to me, which teams hate.
I love a great deal, but I'm not going to run sprints in the outfield just to save a few bucks. It has to be easy. No hoops, no BS. With Mint Mobile, it really is that easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan. Purchase and activation is super easy too.
To get started, go to mintmobile.com/territory. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number.
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/territory. That's mintmobile.com/territory. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/territory.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on their first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.